other participants can know who you are. And some notes here. So if you have any questions, inquiries, let us know from the chat box below. Today's video will be recorded and shared and used for specific purposes only. So on the right side, today we're going to have two screen shares. And the original version in English will be shared from each startups. But at the simultaneously, we will share the Japanese version of the slides as well. So this is how to swap. This is how to change the shared screen between English and Japanese. On the top, you see the view options. And if you choose the plug and play, you will see the Japanese version of the slides. And if you want to stay with the original version of the slides in English, you don't have to do anything. So just let us know if you have any questions, and if it's hard for you to switch the screens, please let us know from the chat box below so that we can help out. All right. So we still have like a 1.5 minutes to go to the event, so just stay tuned. はい。で、本日のイベントなんですけれども、日本語と英語の、スクリーンシェア両方行うような、立て付けになっております。で、各ですね、英語バージョン、オリジナルの英語バージョンの資料に関しましては、各スタートアップから直接、シェアがされます。ただですね、日本語バージョンの資料というものも我々の方から同時にシェアさせていただくような形になっておりまして、こちら上部ですね、の方からビューオプションというところがあるんですけれども、そちらの方をご選択いただいて、スクリーンシェアをしている人の中からプラグ&プレイというところを選んでいただけましたら、日本語版の資料が見れるような形になっております。なので、英語版の資料をですね、ご参照されたい方は、今の画面そのままで何の対策もしなくても大丈夫です。で、ただ、日本語に切り替えたい方はですね、この上部からビューオプションというところから日本語版への切り替えをお願いいたします。で、こちら、ちょっとややこしいかなと思いますので、もし、不明点とかですね、切り替えができないというようなことありましたら、ぜひ、下のチャットボックスからですね、その旨、プラグ&プレイのメンバーまでご連絡いただければというふうに思います。で、そちらに関しましては、テキストでですね、皆様のご不明点とかに関して我々のスタッフがお答えいたしますので、ぜひそちらの方でご対応の方をお願いいたします。はい。All right, everybody, please welcome to Sustainable Solutions in Energy Industries, Japan, Nordic Countries today. So today's event is co-hosted by Plug and Play Japan and Nordic Innovation House. So yes, today I'm your host. My name is Kenta Nakai. I am the Director of IoT and the Energy Sector in Japan from Plug and Play Japan. And I'm really excited to have this kind of events. So before the session starts, let me briefly introduce what is Plug and Play. So we are basically the global VC and accelerator. Our headquarters is located in Silicon Valley, and we have more than 40 global locations. So this is a Plug and Play Japan. So the Plug and Play Japan was founded in 2017, and currently we have 3 offices in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. All right. So why we host this kind of like energy-related events? So actually, the Plug and Play Energy is finally coming to Japan this summer. So this press release was officially released yesterday, but Plug and Play Japan, we will have launched the new Energy Accelerator program starting from this summer. So, and mainly we will focus these 3 focus areas. The first one is the 5 Ds. The decarbonization, decentralization, digitalization, depopulation, and deregulation. And the second one, sustainability, and third one, smart cities. So basically, we will cover these like energy related and also the sustainability related program in Japan. All right. So moving right along, this is today's agenda. Right after this introduction from myself, I would like to welcome Nicholas from the Nordic Innovation House to give you a brief presentation. And after that, we will have the startup pitch session from 5 startups. All right, so this is the startup lineup pitching today. So everyone has the great solutions, and I'm really excited and looking forward to hearing all the presentations from each startups. All right, And actually, the pitch session will be consisted of the two parts. The first one is a 5 minutes pitch presentation from each startups, and after that, we will have the 2 minutes Q&A session. So if you have any comments, if you have any questions, just drop your text from the chat box below so that I can take the question out from the audience. All right. So yes, this is the end of the introduction, and I'm excited to have Niklas Karvinen. He's the community director at Nordic Innovation House, Tokyo. So Niklas, are you here?
Yes, thank you so much.
Right, great. So I'd like to take you on the stage and give a presentation to the audience.
All right, thank you so much, Nakai-san, for the kind introduction. As introduced, my name is Niklas Karvinen. I'm the community director at Nordic Innovation House here in Tokyo. And let me just share my screen. There we go. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us today, and a special thank you to Plug and Play Japan as well for collaborating with us. In my presentation, I will briefly go through the Nordic Innovation House, who we are, what we do, and also say a few words about the clean tech and energy industry in the Nordics and why this is such a relevant topic for us to be part of. But before that, perhaps you might be aware of some of the Nordic startups and unicorn companies that we have. We have currently identified around 30 plus active startups and growth companies here in Japan, such as music streaming services, Spotify, a lot of gaming companies, and also food delivery companies, mobility as a service, etc., etc. So perhaps you're familiar with some of the Nordic startups already, but we have also plenty more to offer. So the Nordic Innovation House, our mission is to bring the best of the Nordics to the world, basically. We work with Nordic startups and scale-ups who are interested in expanding to the areas where we are present. And besides Tokyo, we also have offices in Silicon Valley, New York, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And we are supported by Nordic Innovation, which is in Oslo, in Norway. And here on the ground, we work together with the trade promotion offices of each of the countries, which you can see from this slide. So this is basically the board of the Nordic Innovation House here in Tokyo. It's either the embassy or the trade section of each of the Nordic embassies. And we work together on a Nordic front to bring the best of the Nordic startups and tech companies into the areas where we operate. I would like to say a few words about the Nordic startup ecosystem. It is growing. It has been growing quite a lot in the recent years. We have at least 23 unicorn companies, which is actually the highest amount of unicorn companies per capita in the world after Silicon Valley, of course. And we see that there are strengths in the Nordics in the areas where Japan is currently looking for innovations, such as, of course, clean tech, which we'll be discussing today, but also digital health, smart cities, different digital transformation related innovations could also be named. We're also very happy countries. All of the 5 Nordic countries are in the top 7 of the world happiness ranking. And we're very happy to see that investments from Japan to the Nordic startups have been on the rise. And this is one of the reasons why we also started our operations here in Tokyo last May. Because of the current difficult situation, everything has, of course, been online. But then again, that also gives plenty of opportunities for our Nordic companies to participate in events such as today. And just to recap on our mission to support Nordic companies with their Japan expansion, and we work on a membership base. And we're also very happy to have one of our membership companies also presenting today. And in terms of the activities that we do, events like today's online pitch events, but also matchmakings between Nordic companies, Japanese stakeholders, different types of seminars. And we also want to make sure that the Nordics understand what are the opportunities from Japan and get them to also look at Japan in different industries. These are just some of the examples that we've done last year, events in English, events in Japanese. Today, we're very happy to be able to also cater to both audiences through the technology that Zoom provides us. And these are some of the focus areas that we have. Clean tech, again, one of our main areas. But besides that, we're also looking at digital health and also digital transformation related innovations that we think that Nordics have some strengths that Japan might be interested in looking at. And I also want to take this opportunity to also introduce our next event already. In case you're interested in fintech, we have an event coming up on the 21st of this month together with the Fintech Association of Japan. And we usually work with our partners in terms of doing different activities, events, etc. So that would be from the Nordic Innovation House presentation perspective, but let me also share a couple of pieces of information of why Cleantech, why Nordics, and why is this such an important topic for us. Well, first of all, each of the 5 Nordic countries have national goals to become carbon neutral before or by mid-century. So we know that this is a common goal that Japan is also looking at, to become carbon neutral society by 2050. So we think that there is a lot of room for cooperation and synergies. If we also look at the reviews and different kinds of rankings, the Nordics always rank very high on Cleantech. This is MIT Technologies review, the Green Future Index ranking, where we see Iceland, Denmark, Norway top 3, and Finland and Sweden not too far from behind. And they were looking at carbon emission deductions, energy transition, sustainable societies, clean innovations, and also climate policy. These were the pillars for this ranking. And also WWF had another ranking in 2017, where we had all the Nordics in top 3. And since today's topic is about energy, I also wanted to share the graph on the right-hand side, which is the share of renewable energy on total primary energy consumption in the Nordic countries. We have seen that within the last about 10 years, it has gone up by 9%, with Iceland taking the lead here. And currently it stands on average about 40%. The last piece of information that I wanted to share is this research by Danske Bank, which is one of the large banks in the Nordics. So what they are doing is that they're following these impact-related startups, and I will get back to that on the next slide. But nevertheless, within the last 3 years, the amount of impact-related startups and growth companies in the Nordics has tripled, and they have now identified 1,018 startups in the Nordics related to impact-related innovations, which you can see from this slide, how they relate to the Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. And here we can see that the top 2, wealth and health and well-being, as well as responsible consumption, are both at 21%. But then we also have affordable and clean energy as the top 3 in terms of impact-related startups. So this comes to show that the topic of today is very, very relevant in the Nordics, and it's highly on the government's agenda to become a front runner in this field. And we would like to explore opportunities to cooperate with Japan on this common mission that we share. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation. These are our contact information. Feel free to be in touch if you are interested in any of the startups that you see today, more information about the Nordics as a whole, or you would like to collaborate with us on any type of activities. 日本語対応ももちろん可能でございますので、お気軽にご連絡いただければかなと思っております。And please also give us a follow on our social channels to stay in the loop. But with that, I would like to hand it over back to Nakai-san, and thanks again everyone for being here today. And I'm really eager to get started with the startup pitches. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much for your presentation, Nicolas-san. Yeah, Spotify, Unity, votes, they literally make my life. So yeah, I would like to know more, Nordic startups in Cleantech area today. Okay, so moving right along to the startup pitches. So before session starts, this is how to change the screens. So as I said, today we will have 2 screen shares from our side. If you want to stay in the English version of the slides, you don't need to do anything, just stay here. But if you would like to refer to the Japanese version of the slides, you need to change your screen. So from the top, you see like view options. And if you choose plug and play, the slide will change into the Japanese slide version. So if you like to see the Japanese version of the slide, please do so. And if you have any questions, if you have any technical problems, just let us know from the chat box below. All right, and I think this is only the sound. Today we don't have the simultaneous translator in sound, but you can check in text. All right. All right, so let's move on to the starter pitch. I'd like to listen to the starter pitch. Okay, so John, are you here?
Yes, thank you. Konnichiwa.
All right, great.
I'm here.
So the first up is Bergen Carbon Solutions. John, if you are here, please start sharing your screen.
Yes.
From your side.
You see the screen now?
Yes. All right, great. So please give a round of applause for John.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna start. Just give me a second. Okay, thank you so much. My name is Jan B. Sagmo, and I'm one of the founders and the CEO of the company Bergen Carbon Solutions. We are a company that produces the valuable product carbon nanofibers from CO2. This is a product that's stronger than steel, lighter than plastic, and conduct electricity better than copper. There are mainly two conventional methods of producing carbon nanofibers today. It's electrospinning and chemical vapor deposition. But the issue is that they have 600 kilograms of CO2 emission per kilogram produced, and we are at CO2 negative. So carbon comes in different forms. You may know about diamond and you know about graphite. Carbon nanofibers is the same carbon atom, but in the isomer, also how the molecules are stacked together makes this product really, really, really unique. So this is our production process. We take CO2 either from chimneys or from carbon capture and storage facilities into our production units. We use 50 kilowatt hours per kilogram produced of product. We are producing carbon nanofibers. Only emission we have is oxygen gas. After the production, we take it into our filtration unit because we get some amorphous carbon and some other impurities, filtrate that and cleaning it, and then we get carbon nanofibers that we are selling to the market. So we have model-based production plant. This consists of two 40-feet containers with two reactors inside. Prefabricated and easily assembled at our location. Easily automated, of course, low labor costs. Extracts 30 tons of CO2 per year and manufactures 6 tons of carbon nanofibers each year. We are reducing CO2 footprints with a valuable product. In carbon capture and storage, it's a cost for cleaning it, capturing it, and storing it. We are producing carbon nanofibers from this type of CO2, and therefore we can earn money of being green. And of course, we have potential to have solar panels on rooftop. In Norway, we have Norwegian hydropower, but not all countries have that. So we can have solar panels to have electricity to run the process in our modular plants. And of course, when we have full capacity of this one of the unit, we just make another one and another one and another one. It's all about how much space we can have at the location we want to be. So this is some of the pictures. This is a scanning electron microscope taking pictures of our carbon nanofibers from our test factories here in Bergen. And the product is really electric conductivity. It has extremely good thermal conductivity. And as you can see, the tensile strength is quite substantial. And of course, we have a good customer pipeline. We have 400 potential customers, constitute a strong customer pipeline for BCN with market segment that expect high growth. Offtake agreement are actively discussed with several companies. In more than 30 plus countries, it represented in a current pipeline. And BC has again worldwide attention for green carbon nanofiber. And we are also, of course, established dialogue with mature carbon nanofiber markets, such as in Japan. Combined offtake from key customers, this is 8 of them, is more than 25 tons of carbon nanofibers in 21 in 22. And of course, we are working closely with several commercial customers of carbon nanofiber research and development project. New application areas is continuously being developed here under new potential BCS customers. We are mainly focusing right now on automotive, electrical components, rubber plastics, and coatings. But of course, solar energy and so on will also be really, really interesting. So these are the key steps of development. We were established in 2016 by me and my co-founder, Finn-Britt Svensson. First thing we did was develop the prototype. It was finished in 2018. We got some equity. From 2020 June, our technology was up and running, and we got first sales of carbon nanofibers. We got third-party verification of DNV-GL, and we got equity. We have now in 2021 hired some more people. We are signing LOIs with the technology centers in Bergen, in Mosjøen, and new production facilities. And of course, we are discussing with several companies in Japan and Asia to see if all the products. If you want to know more, please contact me on janbsagm@bergencarbonsolutions.com or Ivan Eriksen at Eriksen@bergencarbonsolutions.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jan. Please drop your comments, questions if you have from the chat box below. So otherwise, yes, let me ask some questions from my side. All right, so I'm just curious, but what is your business model? How do you make money out from this business?
Yeah, we are producing and selling carbon nanofibers to the world market. As I said, it's a commercialized product. It's been commercialized in 2008. We're just a new method of producing this product. So we are selling, and the product price is from $500 up to $2,700 per kilo, and we made a report from PricewaterhouseCoopers saying that in 2021 the revenue is $500 million and will go up to $1.2 billion in 2024. And when we have 40 of these production modules, we will have 12% of the world market in carbon nanofibers.
Cool. All right. How do you see the Japanese market? Are you interested in Japanese market for now?
The Japanese market is the most exciting market we have. It's something we really want to be a part of because of the Japanese are really technical when much further than other countries, and of course you can be the doorway to the rest of the Asia. So and that's why we are talking and are part of the Norwegian Innovation House and have a discussion with Japanese. So if there are any who listening now, please contact me. We would really like to have a discussion.
Great. Are you staying with us until the end of the event today?
Yes.
All right, yes. Great. So maybe he is staying with us until the end of the event. So please, if you're interested in, please send him the text chat from the chat box below. All right. Seems time is up. Thank you very much, Jan, for your presentation. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you can drop your company information and your contact information from the chat box so that the other participants can contact you. All right. Thank you very much. All right, moving right along. So the second up is Carbon Recycling International. Please welcome Benedict. He's the Director of Business Development at Carbon Recycling International. Are you here, Benedict?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Great. Yeah, I can hear you well. So okay. Please get prepared to share your screen.
Yes, you should be seeing it now. I'm already sharing it.
Not yet. Yes, I can see it now.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
So please give a round of applause for Benedict.
Yes, konnichiwa. Good afternoon. My name is Benedict Stefansson. I'm the Director of Business Development for Carbon Recycling International, or CRI, as we call it. It's a pleasure to be here, and I will explain to you how CRI has implemented commercial scale recycling and utilization of waste CO2. CRI developed the emissions to liquids technology, which converts CO2 with hydrogen into pure methanol at industrial quality. This is a one-step direct CO2 hydrogenation process, which is developed end-to-end and patented by CRI. We can capture CO2 from waste industrial emissions, while hydrogen is either produced by electrolysis or recovered from industrial waste streams, such as coke oven or blast furnace gas in the steel industry. Methanol is an efficient fuel or fuel feedstock. It is also a key raw material for a variety of chemical derivatives and consumer products. Why emissions to liquids? As we know, there's an urgent need to phase out fossil fuels in order to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions. For organic chemistry, we need recycled carbon instead. For clean burning liquid fuels, alcohols and hydrocarbons, we also need recycled carbon. Our system allows us and our partners to recover carbon from industry and waste and utilize renewable and stranded energy sources instead of fossil fuels. This is therefore a cornerstone technology in the circular economy. Emissions to liquids is a proven technology. Our largest plant to date will be commissioned in Anyang, China at the end of this year. There, we process coke oven gas and CO2 from the steel industry, producing 110,000 tons of CO2 per year, or 138 million liters of methanol. We commissioned our first industrial plant in Iceland in 2012 and a second phase in 2015, bringing it to 4,000 tons annual capacity. We have also demonstrated how the system can be used with a variety of other CO2 and hydrogen sources. This is a picture of our first industrial scale plant, which is located next to a geothermal power plant in Iceland. Since 2012, it has demonstrated megawatt scale electrolysis with kiloton scale CO2 capture, coupled with our emissions to liquid system, operated industrially. Today, it is our R&D platform for further development of the emissions to liquids technology. CRI is applying the same technology that we pioneered in Iceland to two business cases essentially: utilization of renewable electricity or utilization of byproduct hydrogen. As an example of the next step for the renewable e-methanol case is our project with the Norwegian state power utility in Finnfjord, Norway, which we expect to commission in 2024 with a total capacity of 100,000 tons of methanol production per year. An example of the utilization of byproduct hydrogen is the commercial scale plant in Anyang, China mentioned earlier, which will be commissioned by the end of this year. The only difference is the energy source. So what do we sell and how can we serve your company? In short, we sell an optimized technology for recycling CO2 with direct hydrogenation to produce a valuable chemical and fuel feedstock. We can appraise your CO2 and energy streams and then provide a complete front-end engineering and design package. During the execution phase, we provide the technical license, construct and supply the core equipment, and support all the contractors in building the plant. We provide operator training and commissioning services and then support the plant over its lifetime to maximize reliability and uptime. In the energy transition, we see two scenarios for this type of technology, which are relevant in particular for Japan, which may not have the same amount of renewable energy sources as many other countries in the region or globally. We can partner with you both to build plants that process your CO2 emissions locally with local resources, or develop a value chain where CO2 is processed remotely, where renewable energy is available, supplying methanol, the hydrogen and energy carrier where it is needed. So finally, 3 takeaway messages. We deliver a commercially validated CCU technology, which enables large-scale CO2 abatement and circular economy. For Japanese clients, this technology to recycle CO2 can be implemented locally or remotely. Thank you for listening, and please contact me if you would like further information by email on our website, or you can follow us on social media. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, if you have any questions, please let us know from the chat box below. So otherwise, I will ask some questions from my side. Great. Just my curiosity, but why you chose the first project in China? How did you get the deal?
Yeah, it is not the first project, of course. It's because we have been actually building plants since 2012. Mm-hmm. But it is we have an investor, which is a Chinese automaker called Geely. There's an opportunity to utilize methanol in cars in China, in M100 cars, which are built by Chinese automakers. And there's also a large industry there that has byproduct hydrogen. So we now have a sales organization there that has enabled us to get this this contract, and we have another contracts in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Got it. Thank you. Do you have any competitors you see in all over the world?
Well, it wouldn't be an interesting industry if you didn't have competitors, because then we would be the only ones that see this as a profitable opportunity. So there is a lot of companies that now see this as a profitable opportunity. And I mentioned in the presentation that this is a cornerstone technology. I think a lot of people have understood that methanol is one of the best energy carriers because it has such a variety of uses, and you can make it from so many different streams. So there is a whole infrastructure to distribute methanol globally. So of course, therefore, all of the methanol companies that operate in the market are our competitors in a sense, but also our partners for logistics, for selling, for promoting, for basically introducing methanol to a wide variety of clients. And in Power-to-X, which is sort of the term that has come up here in Europe to describe this type of technology, where you take electricity, turn the hydrogen into a valuable commodity or chemical, then we have a number of competitors, but we are about 15 years ahead of everybody else.
That's good to hear. All right, I got one question from the audience. So what kind of plastics do you produce by this technology?
Basically there is a number of plastics that are made using acetic acid in particular, which are, for example, PET bottles are made with that, and you can make also different types of synthetic fibers. But methanol to olefins is a technology where you make polypropylene or polyethylene from methanol, and then you can basically replace natural gas in the entire value chain of making any type of plastic.
Great, thank you very much. And also thank you very much for Misumi-san for the questions. All right. It seems time is running up. Thank you very much, Benedict. Are you staying with us until the end of the event?
Yes, I will stay here. Thank you.
All right, great. Please drop your contact information in the chat box so that the other participants can reach out to you.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity.
All right, thank you very much. All right. Let's go to the next startup pitch. The next up is Carbfix. Kristen, are you here?
I am here. Just give me a second here, trying to set this up. If I can.
Sure. Yeah, the next up is Kristen from Carbfix. He's a business development manager at Carbfix. All right.
So can you see my screen fully now?
Not yet. Yes, now I see it now.
Okay, good.
All right, great.
So yes, hello
start your presentation.
everyone. My name is Kristen Larsson. I'm head of business development here at Carbfix. So what we do at Carbfix, we pretty much change CO2 into stone underground in less than 2 years through our proprietary technology that simply imitates and accelerates a natural process that's been happening on Earth since start. So for a few million years. We are a subsidiary of Reykjavik Energy Company from Iceland. Even though we are a startup, we have a long history. The company itself was started in 2020, but the history of Carbfix goes back to 2007 when collaboration between the University of Iceland, Columbia University in New York, as well as Reykjavik Energy, where the idea behind exploring the possibility of utilizing the basaltic rock formation in Iceland. So in 2011, we started some pilot injections. 2014, we started doing industrial scale injections. And since 2014, we have injected approximately 100,000 tons into the basaltic rock. In 2017, we started cooperation with a Swiss company called Climeworks, which is actually in direct air capturing. So we received the CO2 from their facility and we inject it into our wells. In 2019, we started filing our patents. And as I said before, in 2020, the company Carbfix was founded. So now we are scaling up as well as commercializing the idea. So what we do, this is a schematic from our site at Hellisheiði in Iceland. So what we do, we actually take from the geothermal steam, we manage to separate the CO2, and we inject that into large scrubbing towers, where we sprinkle it with water, and then we inject the water CO2 into the basaltic rock, where it starts to mineralize. So as I said before, we have now been doing this on an industrial scale since 2014, and the entire amount is close to 100,000 tons. And the only reason why we have not done more is simply because we don't have enough CO2. This entire value chain at the Hellisheiði plant costs less than $25 per ton. So this is a schematic from our partners from Climeworks, just to show you that we are agnostic in terms of where we actually receive the CO2. We can capture it from our own technology, or we can actually receive it from third party. We all know that carbon capture and storage plays and can and will play a large part in battling the climate crisis going forward. And our technology can be practiced on a global basis. And on our website, carbfix.com/atlas, you can actually explore and see where the most favorable rock formations are to exercise our technology. And actually, Japan is quite favorable in that area as well. So I encourage you to have a look, carbfix.com/atlas, and there you can actually see where the most favorable rock formations are. The uniqueness about Carbfix compared to a traditional CCS is that we are mineralizing the CO2. So there is no way that the CO2 can actually leak out. That means that the risk is, of course, significantly lower, as well as the cost of monitoring is less. You can simply inject it and then it will mineralize. And this has been proven through academia research. We have published well over 100 papers around the subject. And we are simply imitating Mother Nature's process of taking care of the CO2. This is a permanent removal, not a storage. The idea behind this is that we inject the CO2 into the wells. The wells are very shallow. It's between 300 and 800 meters, usually on average about 500 meters, which is significantly lower than the depth that the enhanced oil recovery, that is the traditional CCS method. So the cost of the wells is significantly lower, meaning that the entire CapEx expenditure is significantly lower than the traditional one. The beauty with this technology is also it can be easily scaled up. So you can start slowly and gradually expand. And due to all above mentioned points, we have received very high public acceptance, and we have received visits from high public figures and heads of states. We've also received quite, let's say, enormous publicity from the world media, whether it's David Attenborough or Zac Efron. The idea behind our, let's say, commercialization is to set up in 3 phases or 3 different types. So we could set up our technology on site wherever there is an emission. So we can bring in our technology of capturing as well as injection. The second part is we can actually set up a multiple site where we can actually transport or import CO2, because this is simply Mother Nature's way, or we are imitating Mother Nature's way of doing things. So we can import CO2 to certain sites where the geological surroundings are favorable and inject. And this is actually an example of a project that hopefully we will exercise in Iceland within the next years to come. And the third one is the direct air capturing, where we are, as I said before, agnostic in terms of where we receive the CO2. So we can simply set up our facility where the surroundings, geological surroundings are favorable. What we are doing right now is we are fighting against the climate action. We are trying to scale up now our technology in terms of mineralizing the CO2 instead of storing it. What we are doing from a business point of view, we are consulting a lot of multinational companies on a global scale. This technology can be exercised whether it's in Europe, Asia, North America, or any other continent, because we know for sure that basaltic rock formation is one of the most favorable rock formations on a global scale. It covers approximately 5% of the earth or land itself. At sea, it's also on the ocean ridges, additional 7% or so. So in total, plus 10% of the earth is covered in basaltic rock formations. So what we're doing now, we are consulting, as I said, global multinational companies, how to move forward, where they can exercise and utilize the Carbfix technology. We will be licensing the technology out. We will be exploring further possibilities by utilizing this offshore. So now we are exploring with seawater instead of injecting with fresh water. And furthermore, we are exploring other rock formations that can be utilized in the battle against the climate crisis. Our goal in the next 10 to 15 years is to reach 1 gigaton. That's less than 1% of the total capturing that needs to be done by 2050 if our climate goals are to be reached. So we believe that this technology, and we have proven it both with our site in Iceland as well as regarding academic research, that this is not just something that is thrown out of our sleeve. This is actual stuff that can be practiced on a global basis. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. The time is limited, so I would like to take one questions from the audience. All right, I think yeah, actually I got like two questions, but they are related. So one question is there any geological requirements to apply your technology, and does Japan have such appropriate structure? I mean, he's asking like yes, geological requirements.
Yeah, yes, sorry, yes. We would require to have basaltic rock formation, and Japan does have a lot of basaltic rock formations. And I would encourage you to visit our website, carbfix.com/atlas. There you can actually explore that particular site. And any questions, my contact details are here, and I will also put that in there in the messaging query.
Great, thank you. Actually, I have one more questions, but yes, please check it out from the text box, chat box, and please answer to him or her after the session. All right. Are you staying with us until the end of the event?
I will do that, yes.
Okay, great. So please drop your contact information to the chat box.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right. Let's move on to the next startup pitch. The next one is a look at wind. Tuya, here.
Hi, yes, I'm here. I'm just gonna try to get my presentation up. So
great.
I will be with you shortly.
Yep, Tuya, she's the head of finance and the investor relation at Liquid Winds. Please start your sharing your screen, please. All right, I can hear you well, and I can see your screen now.
Very good.
All right, please start your presentation.
Very good. So good morning or good evening, wherever you are in the world. So my name is Tuya Bald, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about Liquid Wind. So Liquid Wind is a Cleantech company based in Gothenburg, Sweden. We develop, finance, build, and operate carbon neutral facilities. And we focus on mainly in the shipping industry. So we know that the shipping really needs cleaner fuels. If you look at the carbon emissions today that is coming from the marine sector, and shipping is almost 4 to 5 times the Swedish emissions a year, and 99% of them are still fossil-based. But we see a strong commitment in carbon reduction from the industry and also from the regulatory bodies. But there is very little alternatives today in the market where the industry can implement such carbon neutral fuels. And this is where what we do at Liquid Wind becomes very interesting. So we produce a carbon neutral fuel that can be referred as electromethanol or renewable methanol. And it has a huge carbon reduction potential. So we can reduce carbon emissions by 94% compared to conventional fossil fuel. And because of its liquid qualities, it is easy to transport and also compatible with existing infrastructure. And the way that we have designed our facilities will enable us to scale globally pretty fast. We're looking at standardizing our facilities and also using a digital twin technology where we will be able to deploy such facilities in faster speed. And at Liquid Wind, we aim to have a maximum CO2 reduction when producing our electrofuel. So we do this by making sure that we source renewable power, and not just renewable power, but also additional renewable power. So we don't cannibalize on existing renewable power. And also we focus on only using or upcycling biogenic CO2. And this is why we have chosen Sweden or north of Sweden to be one of our prime locations to build the first few facilities. And Sweden offers one of the cheapest wind power electricity in Europe. And also because of the Swedish pulp and paper industries in the north that offers huge amount of biogenic CO2. And our first facility is being commenced in north of Sweden, in Övik already. And our plan is to build 500 such facilities globally by 2050. And we're only focusing on standard facilities that produce 50 tons of electromethanol a year. And the reason for producing such facility or choosing this size is due to the fact that we can basically sneak under the grid and share a lot of the utilities with the host. And this is now being also done for our first project in Övik. This is just to give you an idea of the shift we are seeing and the trends that we also see in the shipping industry globally. There is a big demand in the market today for seeking for various kind of carbon neutral fuels. And we also see big companies such as Maersk already committing to carbon neutrality by 2050. And already a month ago, they have ordered their first carbon neutral vessel. And if we look at the whole marine sector fossil fuel, with our big ambition of building 500 facilities by 2050, we will be only able to serve less than 1% of this big market. So we welcome everyone to join us in this journey, making the shipping industry carbon neutral. And this is where we're also welcome to our Japanese stakeholders to contact us if you are a user or buyer of electromethanol, if you're interested in investing in Nordic infrastructure projects such as ours, and if you are interested or if you have a technology of enhancement of carbon capture technology, or if you are interested in co-development of such factories in Japan, feel free to contact us. And thank you. Here are my details. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let us know from the chat box below. So, all right, I'd like to take one question from the audience. So yes, let me ask you a question. So what is the most important metrics or numbers to drive your business?
Metric to measure revenue, or metric to measure the carbon neutrality, or metric to, what sense?
Revenue, I would say.
Okay, revenue, then of course the power source is very important. So the price of renewable electricity is going to be the key component in determining the product price.
Great. All right. Any other questions from the audience? Nothing? All right. Yeah, I'm really excited about your plans to have like a 500 facilities by 2050. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. All right. It seems time is running up. So please give a round of applause for Tuya. Thank you for your presentation. Yeah, please drop your contact information to the chat box below so that the other participants can reach out to you during the event. All right, great. Thank you very much. All right. So next up is the last but not least, we have the fifth startups pitching. So please welcome Mikko. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, great. He's the SVP Business Development at Teraloop. So can you share your screen from my end?
Will do.
I can hear you well. And yes, now I see your slides.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you very much.
Yep, please start your presentation.
Good afternoon, Japan. My name is Mikko Vehkavaara. As mentioned, I'm Senior Vice President for Business Development at Teraloop. And what you basically see here is Teraloop's vision, which is fully renewable generation of electricity supported by our very own kinetic energy storage technology. Unlike batteries, chemical energy storage, which is good for longer term hours and even days of energy storage, we focus on short-term energy storage. After all, 97% of power outages worldwide last for less than 3 seconds only. We've been around since 2014, supported by, for instance, the European Commission, Business Finland, and our equity investors such as Yaskawa Electric Corporation. We are there to help stabilize grids and microgrids and ensure reliable and profitable power supply and industrial operations. Our product, which you can see in the top right-hand corner of the slide, is a 100 kilowatt, 3 kilowatt hour flywheel energy storage device and system. And towards the end of this year, we shall also be launching a 1 megawatt, 12 kilowatt hours device. And we shall be piloting these devices, for instance, with Siemens this summer and towards the end of the year. Our financial ambitions and projections are largely based on our twofold offerings on distributed energy resources and sustainable mobility. And in terms of our financial growth, we are relying very much on our piloting partners, distribution and sales channels, which we can navigate. We intend to be generating more than 300 million euros by the end of 2025. Flywheels have been there for way more than 1,000 years, actually. They are proven to be the most reliable and durable and robust form of energy storage. But based on market feedback during the past 1.5 years, we are now especially focusing on 3 key applications, which are EV fast charging energy storage, of which a bit more soon, battery lifetime extension, and microgrid optimization. If you, for instance, add 10% of flywheel power to an existing lithium-ion battery asset, you can extend the lifetime of that battery bank by more than 20%. This leads to really high return on investment. We are talking about just 18 months or so in some cases, depending on the size of the system. And the same applies actually to our project development business area, where we focus currently on microgrid optimization in Southeast Asia. One of the key challenges, one of the key bottlenecks of EV rollout is the financial non-viability of EV charging operations. This is normally caused by bad grid connections and high demand charges. Our energy storage solution helps avoid all of these expensive grid upgrades and demand charges with which one otherwise would have to live with. We are installing either just our flywheel or our flywheel together with a small battery, which then charges our flywheel. And with this energy storage solution, EV charging operations can be more profitable through the generation of savings, as well as the optimization of customer throughput at food courts and forecourts. You can see here, and later on when the slides are shared, some comparison between flywheels, hybrid systems, and just batteries. And then finally, a couple of words about our investment round. We are in the middle of it right now. We are seeking equity investment for a minority stake over the next 2 years to accelerate our go-to-market plan. And we intend to reach EBIT break even in 2022 with the investment we plan on securing by July this year. And we have 16 concrete piloting opportunities in our piloting plan for this year and next year. And we have signed 9 MOUs or LOIs on these pilot projects with different parties in Europe and in Asia. So if you're interested in contributing to the energy transition together with Teraloop, now is a very good time to join us. Our multicultural team of very committed and talented young engineers supported by an experienced management is ready, willing, and able to deliver high ROI. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much for your presentation. If you have any questions, please let us know from the chat box below. So otherwise, let me ask one question from my side. So can I ask you about your team? Because the EV charging landscape is really competitive. So I'd like to know who does this.
Our team, yeah. You said?
Yes, team.
For instance, our senior system advisor, James Hageman, has been developing electrical systems for also EVs for decades. He's got more than 40 years of experience in power conversion of different sorts, also with renewable energy such as wind turbines. We have a highly competent engineering team that has put together the technology as such. We are in talks with lots of partners in the EV industry as a whole, and are looking for more partners in different positions in the value chain. So our team as such, including our co-founders who are very active in that department, are the ones who are going to be delivering the solutions. But we rely on good, strong partnerships when we go about doing this. And we are, as mentioned, discussing with several parties in different positions in the value chain. So it's an interesting field because it is constantly evolving, and we see the plans of some of the largest energy companies in the world, which are which are very much focused on enabling faster and scalable EV rollout. And through these discussions, we aim at securing also our place under the sun.
Great. Thank you. Sorry, the time is limited, so I will end up the question session here. All right. Thank you very much, Mikko, for your presentation and for your time today. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So please drop your contact information from the chat box.
Will do.
All right, great. All right, so this is the end of the startup pitch session today. I'd like to give a round of applause for all the startup pitching today. The Bergen Carbon Solutions, Carbon Recycling International, Carbfix, Liquid Wind, and Teraloop. Thank you very much for your time and presentation. All right. So this is the end of the event. So actually, yes, the Plug and Play Energy is finally in Japan. So we will have more events, energy-related events. So please stay tuned with us in the future. All right, and we are looking for more corporate partners, and also we are looking for more startups to join our innovation platform in the future. All right. Yes, thank you very much for coming and participating in this event. So we will open up this room until 6:30 in Japan time. So we have another 30 minutes to mingle together, and feel free to interact with each other participants via text. So and at the last but not least, I would like to take Nicholas to the stage again and say hello.
Yes, thank you so much, Nakai-san, for the smooth hosting of the event, and big thanks to our 5 startups for working with us and going through the dry runs with us and presenting very great presentations today. Thank you for your cooperation, and we will be sending over a feedback form from the event, which will also include a section where you can indicate if you're interested in being connected to these startups, or you can reach out directly to the Nordic Innovation House, or use this time that you have to connect through the chat. But thank you so much from my behalf as well for joining us, and looking forward to the next occasion, and special thanks to Plug and Play Japan for the smooth cooperation. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. So thank you very much for everyone who involved in this event. So I'm really excited to see like nearly 100 people join this session, and looking forward to creating the innovation platform in Japan related energy sector and the clean tech. All right, so this is the end of the event. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the future in the different events. Thank you very much for participating today. Thank you.
Bye-bye.